zoning board meeting to order for July 17th, 2025. Who's going to do the roll call? Amanda? All right.
Okay. Keith Kyle.
Here.
Ellen Cornell. Here. John Ball.
Here.
Karen Catugno.
Here.
Christine Brochu.
Absent with cause.
David Trentiso.
Absent with cause.
Christopher Allman.
Absent with cause.
Vice Chairman, you have a quorum.
All right. I have one question about the minutes from last time. Can we vote on those? Because we don't have the same people that were here. We don't have a quorum of people that were here last meeting.
So what we can do is we can either continue those until next meeting, or you can accept the minutes and place them on file if you wanted to approve them today, but you're also more than welcome to continue them, I believe.
All right. I have a motion to continue approval of the minutes. Second, all in favor?
Can I clarify, is that just June?
John? Oh, you made it?
I made it,
All right. Who's second?
or I'll second.
Second, but I need clarification. So are we just continuing the June, approval of the June minutes?
Yeah, you got to turn your...
Are we just continuing the approval of the June minutes or both May and June?
I think we have to do May and June, because I don't think we have anybody here that was on both meetings because of the new appointees, right? Okay. All right.
So second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Get that, Alicia? I guess one minor thing is we'll welcome Karen Catugno to the board as a new member tonight.
Thank you very much.
I don't think there's any old business, is there? Okay. The first hearing tonight, well, I think we have a couple of continuances. Do we want to deal with those first?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair, item C3, Gibson Court Condominium Association, and item C4, Cherry, have requested to be continued or moved to the August 21st zoning board meeting.
Is there somebody here for those? For either Gibson Court Condominium Association or Cherry? Can we grant it without them
I
being?
make a motion to move those to August.
Yes. I don't, they were never open.
Oh, okay.
They were never, they haven't
Okay.
been here yet, so.
Okay.
You don't need to-
All right, is
Okay.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so those two will be continued to August 21st. August 21st? Ellen? John made the second, okay.
Yes, August 21st.
All right, so the first matter tonight is Kaufman. Is there someone here for that? Aye. Hi, how are you, Ms. Kaufman? Good. You might have to speak up a little bit tonight because we're all trying to speak over the fans and everything else, so.
I don't think the mic is
No, I
on.
don't think your mic is on.
It is now.
Go ahead, try it
The red light is on
again.
now?
A little better.
The red light is on now. Now
There you
we're
go. All right, go ahead. You're the applicant.
I'm the applicant, I'm the
Go ahead.
owner.
Okay, why don't you tell us what you're seeking tonight?
Okay, so I've owned the house, I think about 15 years. And in 2019 or 2020, I had the second floor finished, and the space was already there. I just had sheetrock put in and the bathroom put in. And at the time, the contractor said, oh, it would be easier if you just permitted it for a 3-bedroom. It was a 2-bedroom, so adding a den, an office, and a bedroom. And I said, no, I don't work that way. I want to do it the right way for the 5 bedrooms. So I thought in our conversation that that had been done. He said he would fix the permitting at the end, and I thought it was done. And then when they started to require that you register your rental in Narragansett, I registered as a 5-bedroom and got back a letter that said, you only have a 3-bedroom. And so it went on my to-do list to start this process, but at the time I was working and had 2 kids, single mom, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm retired and I'm starting the process and making it right.
There was some issue in the staff report about your use of existing garage space. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Is that going to be used to house cars or?
Yes, there's stuff stored only, like, I have pictures that I brought, but it's just right at the edge, which I'm planning on purchasing a shed. So that won't even be in there, but right now you could pull 2 small cars in there. You couldn't put 2 trucks in there.
Any other questions?
I have a question. It may not necessarily be for Ms. Kaufman, but I am. Can you hear me better? Okay, I have to be closer. So my question may not necessarily be for Ms. Kaufman, but it might be for staff. So finding of fact A says that the existing conditions associated with this project were reflected on the site plan completed, submitted with the application. I'm a little confused about the dates. So your application for this was in 2024, April? Is that when you applied for this?
I started the process, but I don't think I got all the paperwork in because it was 2025, because while I contracted with the surveyor in August or September, and he told me it would be done in October, and I got the report in January.
Okay. So the original permits for the build-out, did they include the bedroom, den, and office?
Yes.
So they did not include bedrooms?
1 bedroom, the den, and the
And an
office.
office.
But just to reiterate that I thought I was doing it right, he said, well, to have the bedrooms, you'd have to add the driveway space, which I did. You'd have to change the windows, which we did. So I did everything he said I would have to do to have the bedrooms, but he never finished the permit, and unfortunately, he passed away shortly after, so I can't go back and.
Any other questions from board members?
Yes, I have a question. One of the items in the staff report indicates that there's a question of whether the existing garage can actually accommodate 2 vehicles. Do you know what the size of the opening is, the garage door itself? Because it's not dimensions on anything that you've submitted.
It's only on the width is, I believe, on the site plan, the survey plan.
I don't have a site plan. Did we get a site plan?
Yes, the site plan on the screen right now is the existing conditions, as there's no footprint changes. That was what was accepted.
Okay. All right, so do we know what that dimension is, or is that going to have to be determined by someone going out there and physically measuring it? Is that what the staff is suggesting?
That's part of the conditions that were outlined in the staff report. Condition number 1, that the building official would inspect the garage prior to issuing the building permit. I believe in a prior conversation, Ms. Kaufman had indicated that it was 19 feet wide or across. That hasn't been confirmed on the ground, though, by staff.
That's the opening?
The opening 19 feet across?
I think so, yes.
Okay, because I'm going to tell you that I actually drove by 3 different times to kind of take a look at the space. And both times that I drove by, there were 2 cars parked in front of the garage doors. And it was pretty apparent that you couldn't get those 2 vehicles in, which is the reason for my question about the actual opening size.
Right, I said there'd have to be smaller cars for sure. But I'm also happy to add extra parking. When I added the parking that's there, that's how much they told me I would have to add. So I'm very happy to add more
Okay.
if that's required. I just want to make it right, basically.
Okay. And just a point of curiosity, you keep talking about he, but you have plans here by DeStefano. Was
Yeah,
that
it was,
the contract?
his name was Eric, who was like the foreman of the head contractor of the work, who worked for DeStefano.
I have a question for you, Wayne. In the initial construction of this, in order to get a CO, does the garage have to be of a certain dimension? I mean,
There's no requirement for garage space. Basically, in this case, a 19-foot wide opening. You can have a 16-foot wide garage door that could accommodate a double garage. Typically, we look at nothing probably less than 22 feet wide to accommodate 2 cars. But there's nothing in the ordinance that specifies a certain size for garages. Unlike the spaces outside have to be a 10 by 20, 200 square feet per car. There's nothing about garages.
okay, thank you.
And it's 200 square feet per car? Is that what
It is 200, but once it gets to 5 bedrooms, it jumps up to 300 per car.
Per car?
Yes.
So do we know the square footage of the entire garage?
We do not know the entire square footage of the garage, but typically if it's a 2-car garage and it doesn't meet that requirement, we utilize that as 2 spaces. Then the additional 3 spaces in this case would have to accommodate 900 square feet of parking on the outside of the house.
And is that met at this point?
Yes, they have
900?
1,000.
Okay. Ms. Kaufman, do you know the square footage of your garage?
I don't.
Yeah, like I said, we've never tied the square footage of a garage to the parking, similar to the way we do for regular outdoor parking.
I have pictures with me, if that helps, of the garage, of the inside
It
of the
might.
garage.
You want to mark those as exhibits?
Why not?
Like I said, there's some stuff stored in there, but
I'm going to send them down this way after they're marked as, okay? It's hard to tell because you
yeah,
don't
I know,
have
you
the
can't
whole
tell, there's no
garage.
car in
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
It doesn't really help with anything. I don't know if this is appropriate, but I took a photo too today, so. We'll let him go out.
See those, John?
So may I? May I?
Yes, of
All right,
course, yeah.
so, I didn't want to interrupt anyone. So you are going to be living there when you retire, but you are leasing it or short-term renting it at this point?
I've been renting it this coming year from November 1st until May 1st. I'm not renting it.
Okay.
I'm
Right. So-
semi-retired, but I'm not old enough yet to collect Social Security, so I'm
Good for
living
you.
on a small amount, and so I need that income to pay the expenses of the house.
All right, so here's my question. I'm going to assume that the minimum square footage on site that's required is to keep cars off the main road so that public safety vehicles and neighbors can get access in and out. And your street is particularly difficult because it's a dead end.
Right.
And I was there 3 times, and I kind of had to back up into the neighbor's driveway just to get my car to get back out. So how, as a practical matter, how are you going to get short-term rental people who are going to show up with 5 cars do this kind of jockeying in and out of the garage and then have a stacking of 3 vehicles, one in the garage, a second one behind it, and a second one behind that,
So
to
I
keep them
don't-
off the street.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
I'm
you.
sorry.
No, it was my fault. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a space, the gravel goes past the garage, the width of the garage, and it goes back, like, along the house a little ways. And so you can actually pull in, head in that way, and so you can get 2 large or 3 small cars that way, and then there's no one in that main part of the garage. Or, again, you can pull 1 up, and then you can have 3 across. And most of the people that I'm renting to are family groups, so it's very unusual that I've had 5 cars. I have super close relationship with my neighbors across the street who are year-round people, and they're right on it for me if there are any issues with garbage or cars or anything. And it's maybe been twice, and it's usually garbage.
Okay, thank you.
And again, like I said, I'll add more parking if I need it. I just want to make it right.
Okay, thank you. You have anything else? Go ahead.
The ability to add more parking is there for lot coverage and all of that stuff, or if she needed to add more
Yeah, I
parking?
believe it's not in the high water table, so they could add parking without, as long as it's impervious, without impacting the soft, depending upon where it's put, it could impact softscape, but we'd have to take a look at it and let her know where an additional spot could be placed.
So, Ms. Coughlin, I have one other question. So, since you had this constructed, you've always been using it it's always been a 5-bedroom home, but not legally
Well, when I
identified
found
as
out
such?
that it was 3, and I know you can do it without a special permit for 4, I kind of split the difference, and I have it advertised as 4. But when I'm there and I have friends there, I'm using it as a 5.
Okay.
I mean, the rooms have beds in it because even when the designer showed me the pictures of the den office bedroom, because I was under the impression it was 3 bedrooms, she showed me the pictures with beds in them. So I had no idea that, other than on the plans, it does say, on the original plans, it said office bedroom den.
All right, any other questions? Do you have anything else to add?
Actually, I don't think so. Might as well ask this.
Go ahead.
Mrs. Kaufman, are you aware of the standards that we have to meet when granting a special use permit for this? And I kind of want to ask you a few things. So could you describe the neighborhood? Are there other, like what the other houses around, are they 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom?
So the house, actually, it's interesting when you said about emergency vehicles, because when I moved there, the house just after mine was a tiny salt box house. And it was a 3-generation family living there, a mom with her son and his daughter. And he drove a giant tow truck. That was his job. So that tow truck went in and out of the street all the time. So when that house got built just a few years ago, that's 5 or 6 bedrooms. Across the street from me, it's either 3 or 4. It could be 5, I'm not sure. The other 2, I'm not sure. The only people who are there year-round are the people across the street from me. The one next to me is rented, and like I said, it's 5 bedrooms in the main house and 1 above the garage. And the people next to me on the other side, they own it, but they're not there year-round. They see, when I'm here, they're hardly ever here. And then the people next to them are snowbirds, I guess. They're here from April to October. And the house behind me has to be at least 6 bedrooms. I mean, it's mammoth. And that little development is all full of giant.
That's the other development. That's not on your street, the house
No,
behind you.
and the ones that
Okay.
so there are 2 lots behind, one of which is going to be accessible from Blossom Way, and they're advertising that for 5 or 6 bedrooms as well.
Right.
And that's
And
off
I
my
imagine
street.
during construction.
What's that?
I imagine during construction, if somebody ever does buy that lot and constructs a house there, it's going to be quite tight on Blossom. Yeah.
It's back, though, that one. It's behind, so you access it, but
Right. Yeah, I actually have walked that lot just to see. And again, the intent is to still, to continue renting it summer only?
until I don't have to even do that.
Do that at all?
Right, which is,
Have you ever rented during the winter?
when I first owned it and it was only 2-bedroom, I rented it to students because when I bought it, I was married. And we were supposed to be using it year-round, but then I went to 1 income, so that wasn't feasible. So some of the years of, maybe it was about 8 years, I rented it, probably 6 out of those years to students, and 2 years it was to, 1 year it was graduate students, and 1 or 2 years it was full adults, I should say. But yes, my intention is eventually to not need the other income, and then I'll have it year-round, as was my intention when I bought it.
Anything else for anyone? Thank you, Mrs. Kaufman.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that's wants to testify in support of this application? Come on up. Right hand.
This right or that one?
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
As best as I can.
Please state your name and spell your last.
Roberta Marinelli, Marinelli.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not testifying in support of, I just want to make a comment and some clarifications about the situation on Blossom Way. I live at 127 South Pier Road, which is on the corner of Blossom Way and South Pier, and the home that my family has owned for a very long time is attached to that private road, and we grant the easement and the right-of-way for people all along Blossom Way to get back and forth to their homes. And we are very sensitive to the clearance and the ability of people to pass, and there is generally a good level of cooperation. However, it's tight, and the road has been relatively narrow, and the right-of-way, which is a form of easement, specifies that the passage and the right to pass is only on the passable gravelled portion. And that neighborhood, or that little cul-de-sac, if you will, has had a character for a very long time of just being very small homes. And like many other parts of Narragansett, that has grown and changed, and bigger homes are being built. In some cases, they are being built on, fairly sizable lots, and in other cases, they are smaller lots where new homes have replaced older ones. In general, there's a good level of cooperation, but I would be remiss if I didn't raise the issue that parking, particularly when there are a number of visitors, can be tight at that end. I'm fortunate that I have a driveway. I don't have to worry about that, but there are other people on the street that do have difficulties, and so I thought it was important to raise that issue and to ensure that if there are going to be large numbers of cars associated with a house, that they have a place to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else who wants to speak in favor of this application? Well, we're going to get to the, nobody else in favor? Is there anyone in opposition to this application?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last.
Catherine Celeberto, Celeberto, 48 Earls Court. The application before you is to legalize 2 illegally added bedrooms. Now, I don't think I have to tell you that ordinances are laws, and actually the request on its face is flawed. You can't legalize an illegal act. A court could possibly waive prosecution, but I don't think you people have that authority. From the very beginning, soon as it was discovered that she had 5 bedrooms instead of 3, she should have been fined. And the town should have issued her a cease and desist order not to use those other 2 bedrooms. She's also being taxed on 3 bedrooms for I don't know how many years now this is, but she has 5 bedrooms. And when this happens, there's a lot of illegally added bedrooms and bathrooms in this town, but when that continues, then the rest of the people pick up the tab. I pay tax based on the square footage and the bedrooms and bathrooms I have. I haven't illegally added any, but I have to pick up the excess because she's not paying her fair share. Not just me, everybody in town. I am, as far as her testimony, if you go on VRBO, you'll see she's been renting this place for years. I even saw a family who rented it just for Thanksgiving, to have Thanksgiving dinner at the house, which I think is kind of a great idea. I may rent the house to have Thanksgiving so people don't come over to my house. But I mean, it's just absurd, let's face it. She's been renting this place, let's face it, to earn money or to generate income. And if you look at the original building permit that was pulled for this house, I don't think it says, there's a question on a building permit, what is your intended use? I know we built 3 permits, all houses we've lived in. And we always put family residence. I'll bet you all at dinner at Spain that doesn't say family residence on this permit. It should say rental, because that was the original intent. So in fact, the house is being used in an unpermitted way. I just think that you have to start setting the tone. This is just one more person that's been, flying under the radar and always has an excuse. I thought my builder did what he was supposed to do and all of that baloney. But frankly, she's been renting this place. It's not a residence, it's a rental. And I think you really have to fine her, and make sure she pays the back taxes for all the years that she's had a 5-bedroom but only been paying on a 3-bedroom. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have questions.
Oh, come back up. Someone has, one of the board members has a couple of questions for you. Thank you.
So you've made an argument about she hasn't been paying her taxes. Wouldn't legalizing the 5th bedroom?
You can't legalize an illegal act.
This is the wording
I know.
of the ordinance, so just go with me here. Wouldn't approval of the legalization of the 5th bedroom now require her to pay more taxes?
Right, but what about the
Okay.
other years when she hasn't been paying them?
Okay.
And
then my
everybody else
next
is picking up
question-
the tab.
My next question is, where is 48 Rose Court in relation to this?
Up the street and around the corner.
Okay. So are you affected by the parking?
No, this isn't about parking.
Okay.
This is about the fact that she illegally added
I'm
bedrooms.
asking you a question. Are you affected
Affected.
by the parking? No. You're not
On
close enough
this
to be
street?
affected by
No.
the parking? Okay.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in opposition to this application? I don't think so. If you'd like to, we can, because I'm going to ask Ms. Kaufman if she wants to offer any rebuttal to any of this.
I may have a question.
Roberta Marinelli, right hand this time. Got to have a sense of humor in these things.
Yes.
Agree with the parking, and while Ms. Celeberto may not be impacted, the residents of Blossom Way do need to be careful. And, there is a character in that neighborhood. It was an old farm, as my grandfather bought it, That has changed, but it doesn't mean that some of the constraints imposed by the road are going to change. And so I think the town needs to be mindful of that. And I understand that Ms. Saliberto lives on Earl's Court, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have standing.
I agree with you
I agree with you,
100%.
Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Have you noticed any particular issues with parking with this particular property? Or is it just, you're just commenting on the street?
I'm commenting more generally on the street. I don't have to go up to the end. I turn onto Blossom Way and I take a quick right and I avoid all of that. And as Ms. Kaufman has suggested, the neighbors across the street, the Batchelders, do keep an eye on things and they're lovely people, and they've said that there has rarely been a problem. And so in the spirit of keeping peace, I don't think there has been a problem. One of the bigger problems is actually the person who lives across the street from me, but that is a different issue and one that I need to take up with him more personally as the person who has the oversight of the private road. I guess an attorney will have to take that up because I'm concerned for the other people on the road.
Thank you.
But it is tight. You put, one or two big vehicles in there, and it's hard to get around. And I would imagine that a large fire engine could have trouble getting past. So it's really important for people to tuck their cars in at night and during the day. That's it, and thank you for letting me come back, and now that I know how this works, I'll get it right the next time.
Right hand. Ms. Kaufman, would you like to offer any rebuttal to any of the testimony that you've just heard?
One thing I'd like to say is that I did send, obviously, the mail to all the abutters, and none of my, except for one, none of the other people from Blossom Way, all of whom I have a good relationship with, because it's a private road. So when anything has to be done, whether it be snow plowing or water main or anything else, we all have to pay for it and we chip in, so we all interact with each other. So I do have good relationships with my neighbors, and if there were anything that I needed to fix, then I would do that. I didn't want to go into personal things because I don't really feel it's the place.
You don't need to do that. Let me just state this for the record, that you've recognized that you need to legalize this as a 5-bedroom. There's a provision in our ordinance to allow you to do that. That's why you're here tonight, seeking a special use permit to allow you to exceed 4 bedrooms under the ordinance, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to close this hearing?
I'll move to close.
Second it?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Is there a motion?
Mr. Vice Chairman, with regard to Project Summary Kaufman, I submit the following findings of fact to be adopted. This is an application for relief from zoning, application for a special use permit under section 12-23, development standards for homes exceeding 4 bedrooms. This is, the address of the location is 6 Blossom Way. It's tax assessor's plat Q, lot 92. The lot is 1,499 square feet in size, and it's located in an R10 zoning district and is a substandard lot of record. The special use permit is to legalize 2 existing bedrooms, creating a 5-bedroom dwelling. The building lot coverage does not change, and the site coverage does not change. We'll get to the parking in a minute. I submit findings of fact A through G in the project summary as facts to be adopted here into the record. We should note that the initial application for building out the upstairs was an application for adding 1 bedroom, an office, and a den. I think the reason being initially there was maybe some mistake of the builder who was working on it that didn't follow the client's request in adding 3 bedrooms instead of a bedroom, a den, and an office. But that is what was requested and never really followed up with. So what we have is we have a legal 3-bedroom to be converted into a 5-bedroom. I will note for the record that the planning board recommended this application for approval of the zoning board in a 4-to-1 vote. They also said that the application was in complete conformance with the comprehensive plan by a vote of 5-0. Also, there is an existing garage on the property that, per testimony of Ms. Kaufman, will accommodate 2 small cars. Staff and zoning does not have any evidence of that because we don't have any pictures or they haven't been out to confirm that. Okay. We did have people testify, I guess, neutral to the project, we could call, but Roberta Marinelli testified that the street that the house, that Six Blossom is located on, is very tight and parking is definitely a concern. Catherine Celeberto also testified in opposition to the project and was definitely concerned about the zoning not being able to grant this, to make this a legal conforming 5-bedroom. So those are the facts that I would like to submit to the board for approval. So.
Good. Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Did you say aye? I didn't, or do you have something you want to add, or?
Findings of fact as specifically stated, I'm voting in favor. This is my first vote, on my first hearing, on my first night. I just want to be clear on what I'm voting on. Voting in favor is my acceptance of every finding of fact that you have stated.
Correct.
So I say nay.
Okay. You can amend my findings of fact if you'd like. You can.
Still carries 3-1. Is it 3-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What's the board's pleasure on this?
Mr. Vice Chair and members of the board, I make a motion, sadly, to deny the request for legalizing the 5-bedroom. I'm not, the fact that the builder submitted because it was easier to get approval for 3 bedrooms and then go back later is not really, what we want to encourage here. The other big reason is that I do not believe that we've had evidence presented here that the standards to be met in granting the special permit, the special use permit were met sufficiently. And that's my motion.
I will second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Four zip. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Kaufman. The next matter is Suska, Plat M, Lot 16734, 15 Tellier Road. Yes? All right, should I try that again? All right, so the next one up is Suska, Plat M, Lot 16734, 15 Tellier Road. Good evening.
Good evening. I do. Gail Hallock Sear, HALLOCK
Yes, I am.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so
I
help
do.
you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last.
Peter Suska, last name is Susca.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, you have the floor, or somebody does. Ms. Sear or Mrs.
I just got my laser.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so this is one of the houses in Breakwater Village that was built a number of years ago, 1950. And so it was built in a period when we didn't have to worry about hurricanes and was a vacation house. So it isn't actually a house that is very strong structurally. It doesn't have a foundation. And now is reaching the end of its safe life. And the Suskas would like to remove that house and rebuild a 2-story house on the lot. We will be utilizing the 15% modification size when we design the house so that pretty much all of the house is within, can I have the new, the new site plan? That one. Yep, oops. Yep, that one. So pretty much all of the lot is within, so you see what the 2024 lot setback is. And the 15% modification allows us a little bit more outside of that. And the one problem with that is that we, instead of 6.6 feet back from the front yard, we have 6.4 feet, and that is for that overhang. Amanda, would you mind showing the front overhang? There. Okay, so it doesn't have posts or anything. It's put up on a bracket and is already pretty small. The purpose of that is to create a entry. This is the front entry, as well as protection from the elements. And as you can see, it's a two-story house. The footprint is actually smaller than the original footprint, and we are within that modified FAR size. And so we're applying for the special district section 4.8.1.5 as well as, or variance, as well as special use permits from Breakwater Village, section 4.8.1.6C and 4.8.1.6F. And when the standards to be met are basically the hardship is that the existing house is going to be dangerous when, it's already not in great shape, but if we have a hurricane, it does not meet the present code. And it is also one of the older houses, and now Breakwater Village is getting very fancy, and so this will, improve the look of Breakwater Village, which will improve the general characteristics of the surrounding area. And obviously, they didn't build the house, and we're not going to alter the general character of the surrounding area. That the variance is not granted, is not more than, it's just that the relief sought is minimal. Obviously, we're trying to stay within everything, except for that one, like 2.5 inches corner, so.
I think you're the standard for what the design is in that neighborhood, since you've pretty much designed every house.
That's right. Yep.
Any questions for Ms. here?
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. When we bought the house 12 years ago, my kids were, 6 and 10 and could sleep in the same bed. And now it's a very small cottage, 550 square feet. And, for those two kids that are 17 and 21 now to sleep in the same bed, it's a little difficult. To be in the same room is a difficult thing. In addition to my wife and myself, having space to sleep. So we're planning on living in that house all summer long versus, going to visit it periodically. So that's the future state of the new structure.
Okay, any questions? Thank you, Mr. Suska.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here who wants to testify in favor of this application? Anyone who wants to testify against this application? All right, do I have a motion to close this hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, is there a motion?
Mr. Vice Chair, I would make a motion to make findings of fact. This relates to Project Suska, which is located at 15 Tellier Road, Breakwater Village. It's tax assessor's Plat M, Lot 167-34. In summary, the applicant has submitted a request to demolish the existing dwelling, and in particular, the relief sought is under section 4.8.1.5, dimensional regulations, section 4.8.16C, as it relates to Breakwater Special District Special Use Permit, and section 4.8.1.6F, Breakwater Special Village District Special Use Permit for construction of a 2-story dwelling. Would enter the findings of fact as laid out in the materials, letters A through H. We had 2 people speak. We had Gail Sear and Peter Suska. Ms. Sear stated that the existing house that is, was built in 1950. It's been used as a vacation home. does not have a foundation, and she would consider it not to be safe for the long term, in particular with significant weather events that may occur. They intend to utilize the 15% size modification, and it's essentially about a 2-inch difference for what the variance is being sought as it relates to setback. The hardship, as Ms. Sear outlined it, relates to the existing house not being safe, and that the relief being sought, she maintains, is minimal, being that 2 or so inches that was mentioned. Mr. Suska also spoke on behalf of himself. He bought the house about 12 years ago when he had small children. The family has obviously grown in age and physical size, I would suppose, and they're planning on living there in the summertime and just making a more user-friendly and usable and safer space. And that would be the summary of my findings.
One thing I would maybe ask that you include is that it's actually it's decreasing the lot coverage, I think.
Right, I
I
would
think-
make that
yeah.
modification, Mr. Vice
Thank you.
Chair. Yes,
Yeah, I just noticed that.
thank you.
Yep.
Planning board?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I would also mention that the recommendation from the planning board is presented here, and it found the application to be complete, and we would just make reference there to that as well.
Thank you. So do we need to second that now? Yep, we have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, what's the board's pleasure?
Mr. Vice Chair, on the basis of the materials presented, and on the basis that this does meet the standards for granting the variance, I would make a motion to grant the relief requested.
Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, is there a second?
Conditions?
With,
Sorry, yeah, just subject, beg your pardon, subject to the conditions that have been outlined
in the
in the
summary.
in the
1 through
summary.
4?
Yeah, 1 through 4.
1 through 4.
Would you like to incorporate the condition that was added by the planning board?
Yes.
All right, with that in there's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Okay, next up is, apologize if I butcher this name, but Terrazaska Plat NR Lot 1032 Algonquin Trail.
Walter Musto, M-U-S-T-O. Terrazaska is my wife. She's not here, so don't worry about it.
We won't tell her you said that. Okay, go ahead, sir.
All right, so I think I have some pictures up. Okay, so we own both we just purchased lot 1032. We also own lot 1033. When we bought lot 1033, the intention there was actually to fix it up. We've been before the board before, and we're able to fix up some of the issues that the previous owner caused. It's a rental to college kids in the winter, and we live in it in the summer. We found that 1032 wasn't really owned by anybody. It was mostly tax deeds. So we were able to consolidate those and bought that land with the intention to build the house that we will live in. I currently live in North Providence. My wife, we just got married in Narragansett earlier this summer. She lives in Chicago with her kids, so this is the house that's kind of bring us all together. Also, it'll be nice to live next to the rental property so that we can keep an eye on it. Gail Sear, who was just here, is our architect for this one. And she helped us, along with engineering and with some consultation from CRMC, to come up with the design. On the surface, I think it looks like we're asking for relief in 3 areas. But I think it's okay to say that we're technically only asking for relief for 1. So the first one is height, and the second one is FAR, but both of those fall within the 15% allowance for a substandard lot. But they're listed here because I think all elements are listed when something goes beyond the approval authority of engineering. So the big one is the 2 feet on the right side of the house, which puts us a little closer to our other property than is typically allowed. The reason for this is not because it's a huge footprint or anything like that. It's more of there is a wetland kind of boundary. And so what we're trying to do is maximize the space that we have to build a house on the lot while honoring the wetland boundary. What we did agree to with the planning board is between the 2 properties, both properties will agree that a fence cannot be built in between so that there's always adequate room for emergency response. And I think there's one of the gathering areas, which we did not name, by the way, and that came up as something that was comical to the planning board. We just went with what Gail said, but would not be used as a bedroom. I'm happy to explain what the intentions are for each of the 3 floors, but I think, at a high level, that's our story.
So basically, all you're looking for here is a 2-foot right side yard setback variance? And
Correct.
that's from the property that you own? I mean, the neighboring or abutting property is, you also own that?
That's correct. Yep. And again, main reason is because of the wetland situation, not because we're building a huge footprint.
Can you show us, Ryan, on that chart where the wetland is? Because it's not apparent to me.
That's
Yeah.
what I want to know.
Of course. Right here, these little grassy looking
Oh, okay.
tufts. So these are the WF-A.
Yep.
Those are all the wetland flags that were marked by all of you.
So they're on a neighboring lot, and we're just trying to move the house further away from those on their lot.
That's correct.
Okay.
In our understanding, it's that wetland and then a slight buffer zone. So after this, if we do get approved, we still have to go to CRMC, make sure that they give the whole thumbs up for the location and everything like that. But it was first making sure that you all felt like this was okay.
Any questions?
I actually have a question. In the report, and again, my first meeting here, in the project summary that's been provided to us, it's indicated that the relief requested is in 3 areas, but you are saying there's only 1 area
So
where there's relief, and
Yeah.
maybe staff can clarify that for me? Because it does say 3.
Yes, so he is in fact asking for 3 types of dimensional relief.
Yes.
What Mr. Musto is referencing is in the staff report, it does mention that there is a 15% dimensional modification that can be approved administratively. 2 of those 3 could technically have been approved administratively, i.e. The dimensional regulations for FAR and the height variance. However, the 2-foot right side yard setback variance does not.
All right, so why is it in the report then?
That previously it was asked by other members of the board to just make sure for clarification purposes. However, it doesn't necessarily have any weight.
Okay.
Isn't it that if you have to go for one, you have to include all of them?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
one or none,
It's one or none.
or one or all.
They have
Sorry.
to be included according to the
Okay,
ordinance.
even though you're saying they can be approved administratively,
Yes.
under your procedures?
Yes, and if he needed a special use permit, it would be the same way. He wouldn't be able to get the administrative approval if he was required to get a special use permit.
Okay.
I mean, I think what you're saying is it's just a consideration for us. They could be administratively approved.
No,
So-
I get it. You're saying if he didn't have these 2 feet here, he wouldn't
Correct.
be in front
He
of us.
wouldn't be here,
I'm
right.
asking the procedural question of why is it in the report then as relief requested from us when it can be done administratively? And you're just saying this is the practice of how it's done?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
all relief or no relief.
Okay.
Okay, in light of that, do you have any questions?
Yes. there's a multiple, a series of conditions that have to be met, grounds that have to be met for what you're requesting here. If you could just go through those for us?
Sure. I think the main two, and if I'm missing anything that you're seeing, just let me know. The main two are the fence in between and the consideration from planning board, which we totally understand. And I don't know exactly how the sequence went, but we may have even offered this before they suggested it, is that the closer you get with houses, there's a consideration for emergency response. If there's a fire in the back and emergency response has to get through there, the closer you get, gets a little more challenging. And if you put a fence in between, it would make it really challenging. So we agreed, because we own both lots, that we would not put a fence in between. And planning felt that that allowed for adequate space. The other thing was that it is a 3-bedroom, but it has 2 gathering areas. And I can explain those, but our intention is totally to be 3-bedroom. If you want me to go into the
Yeah, I want
gathering
to
spaces.
explain the gathering room, because
Sure.
if I'm reading your application, you're saying you have 5 children, I don't know
Correct.
what ages,
Yeah.
plus your spouse and yourself.
Yeah.
So you've got 7 people, 3 bedrooms, and then a gathering room,
Yeah.
which has a closet, a half bath,
The upstairs, yeah.
which concern has been raised about this being used as a 4th bedroom.
Sure, okay. So one concern I want to make sure is clear, will not be a rental. This is the house that we're going to move to and live in. So the 7 people that you mentioned are the 7 people in consideration. My 2 daughters are 18 and 17. By the time the house is built, they'll both be in college. I also don't have primary custody. They live primarily with their mom in Lincoln, Rhode Island. So that very upstairs is a place for them. I just couldn't see saying we're building a home and there's no place for you guys to hang out and just be yourselves and not have to deal with younger kids or be away from the parents or anything like that. So more than likely, they won't be sleeping there for one, but it's when they come down and go to the beach that they have their place to hang out. When they're not there, it's my man cave, which would be awesome for me. The second floor gathering space. So my wife's kids, it's 2 girls and 1 boy. The 2 girls will have their own room. The boy will have his own room. Her oldest has autism, which many times she needs her safe place to go, which will be their bedroom, a place where she can shut the door and be there quietly. So it makes having a gathering space for the other kids, or even all 3 of them when she's not having an episode, just able to hang out, watch TV, be on their phones, whatever, really important. And if you look at that second floor one, there's actually no wall on the right side. So it's an area where there's like that opening and there's a balcony. Folks will be coming up the stairs and it's a big open area. So our intention there is that they've got the view, they've got the balcony, TV on a wall, a couch, a place for them to hang out while allowing her oldest to have her own place when she needs it.
Any other questions? You have anything, Ellen?
Thinking.
Yep, go ahead.
So in our project summary, there's some discussion about the windows in the gathering area. Did you make any changes to the windows to make them not ingress, egress windows such that it would not be considered a bedroom?
Oh, you know what? I do not think that we did from an architectural standpoint, but that is no issue if we say that that is a requirement.
No, it's not.
Actually-
I don't think I'm reading it as a requirement. I just think that then it would clearly not be considered an additional bedroom.
Yeah.
But I think the alternative is there's conditions of the planning board that, are you okay with? They want there to be a deed restriction, that the
Yes.
gathering room not be used as an additional bedroom, and that there be a deed restriction, that there not be a buffer constructed between the 2. So. Okay.
Yeah, we totally agree to that, and it aligns with our intentions for the house.
Well, I got one quick legal question, even though I am a lawyer, about this deed restriction. I mean, is this something that we can impose on an applicant as a condition of granting the application? In other words, there's going to have to be a deed prepared as between these two properties restricting a fence. And who's going to monitor that and make sure that has occurred?
I don't think that the town has the legal authority to require a deed restriction. The property owner would have to agree to it. As far as monitoring goes, deeds are recorded in the land evidence records, and it would be up to the town, if the town thought there was a violation, to look at exactly what the deed restriction said and then go out to the property and do an inspection. And it would be considered a violation of the zoning ordinance, just like any other violation. But I don't think that it could be imposed as a deed restriction unless the property owner agreed.
Right, I guess, let me refine that question a little bit. Can we, as a condition of granting this application, require that there be a deed restriction?
Only if the applicant agrees. If he agrees on the record that he'll do that, then you can.
Right, so
And I believe-
you're basically going to be agreeing with yourself, you understand that? Because you own the two
Right,
lots.
well, sorry, that's what made it
Yeah.
really easy, thankfully,
Yeah.
but absolutely, yes.
And I also wonder if it's actually, the right instrument is a deed, because he's going to be deeding it, they're going to be deeding it to themselves, I guess. They're going to, like.
Yeah, there's a way
gotta
to
be
do
some
that.
some other instrument that.
There's a way to do that.
Some sort of reverse
Yeah.
easement or something.
But the significance of having it as a deed restriction is that it runs with the land. It is imposed on everyone who owns the property, not just
Correct. I mean,
this one.
an easement would as well, but.
I have actually a question for Ellen. You were talking about, are you suggesting that there be a change in the size of the windows on the bonus room? Or what was the point you were making?
No,
I wanna
I'm
make
not
sure
actually
clear on this.
suggesting that. I think in the project summary, there was staff was
What page are we on?
3, I think, 3 of 5. The paragraph that starts additionally.
Okay.
So I guess there's a question if the room will be confirmed as an additional bedroom because of the size of the windows. But I think that,
Excuse me, it would not, because the room is open, it's not closed, so it would not qualify under the criteria as a bedroom, even with an egress window.
okay.
All right.
And just to get back onto the other thing with the 3-bedroom, this will be permitted strictly as a 3-bedroom, and anything similar to the application that got denied tonight, you can see that will be upheld, so that anything other than a 3-bedroom, he'd have to come back with permitting for that. So it'll be specified that it's 3-bedroom only.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions?
No,
Oh,
I'm sorry, no.
Thank you, Mr. Musto.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there anyone here who wants to testify in support of this application? Is there anyone that would like to testify in opposition to this application? Motion to close this hearing?
I'll move to close.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, is there a motion?
Yes, Earl Bright. Talk about baptism by fire. I've
All
heard
right.
2 of these, so let's see if I can manage to pull it together. All
In
right.
any event, I'm impressed. So, you're taking-
I jump in, I'm going to need some help here. So this is an application for 0 Algonquin Trail, Plat N-R, Lot 1032, to construct a 3-story single-family dwelling. The lot in question is 5,000 square feet in size and located in an R10 zoning district, and the lot is currently vacant. The relief requested is from section 6.4 dimensional regulations. There's a 3-foot, 10-inch height variance based upon the pitch of 4/12, which would be 26 feet. So we've got 3 feet, 10 inches. There is a request for relief from section 6.4B, dimensional regulations, 0.04 or 244 square feet of floor area ratio variance. And as was pointed out, I believe we can make a finding of fact that those two alone would be subject to administrative approval, but for the fact that there is relief requested in section 6.5, which relates to a 2-foot right-sided setback variance. All right, so what else? We've heard testimony from the applicant regarding his family, the need for the 3-bedroom home, the unique characteristics of the land, especially as it relates to the wetlands. We also have a unique situation where he is the owner of the abutting property. Remind me next, what am I
And then
supposed
I
to
think we
add?
usually incorporate the project summary.
I would like to
all of the
incorporate
exhibits.
in the project summary and all of the exhibits. And he's agreed on the record. All right, the other issue that was discussed and is what we're calling the gathering room, and the applicant has testified that that will not be used as a bedroom. And am I allowed to say, I find that testimony to be credible?
Of course.
As a finding of fact. The standards to be met in granting relief are 1 through 4, as indicated on the project summary. The matter came before the planning board. They made the recommendation again that the property be deed restricted to prevent the gathering space located on the 3rd floor from being converted to an additional bedroom. They additionally recommended that the property be deed restricted to prohibit construction of any buffer along the northerly property line, the abutting property also owned by the applicant, and he's agreed on the record to do that. The planning board found 3-0 that the application was complete and in conformance, and they recommended approval by a motion passed 2-1. What have I forgotten?
That was great.
All right.
So,
So,
is there
how
a
do I
second?
wrap?
You just say this concludes
So
my
this
findings of fact.
concludes my findings of fact.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, what is the board's pleasure? That means you get to
I
give the
will-
decision now.
I will move that the application with the conditions stated, do I have to state them again? Conditions 1 and 2, under the planning board recommendation, as agreed to by the applicant, be approved.
Would you like to incorporate conditions 1 through 8?
1
of this?
through, yes, thank you, Ryan. What am I incorporating?
It's conditions 1 through 8.
I'm
in the
sorry,
in the,
conditions
project summary.
1 through 8, thank you, as well as the recommendations 1 and 2.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4-0, the motion passes. Thank you
Good luck.
very much.
Okay, that was baptism by fire.
pretty good.
Baptized now.
All right. Is there anything else tonight, Ryan? No. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.